Day 2 from Steamboat Springs brought sunshine and warmer temperatures to Howelson Hill for the second race event of the 2023 World Pro Ski Tour. On Day 1, the Europeans scored victory in both the men's and women's divisions as Matthias Tefri of Norway and Evelina Fredriksson of Sweden captured their first ever World Pro Ski Tour titles. Favorites Rob Cohn and Michael Ankeny failed to qualify for the semifinals, as did Caitlin Harsh, while Tuva Norby failed in her attempt to win here in consecutive years. On this edition of Life in Between Gates, we'll take a closer look at two of the most talented ski racers on the Pro Tour. Michael Ankeny looks to get back on the podium at Howelson Hill after a disappointing first day. Ankeny won both events here in Steamboat in 2022 and is more determined than ever. And Caitlin Harsh also looks to improve upon her fourth-place finish here as well in 2022. It all comes your way next on Life in Between Gates. This is the World Pro Ski Tour 2023.
For more than half a century, Seiko has been supporting athletes in their efforts to be the best. Now, we want to bring this reliable technology to anyone striving for a goal. Because we understand, a split second can change everything. Keep going forward. Prospex.
Life in Between Gates is brought to you by Clicker, Celsius, Seiko, Mazda, and Taos, home of the 2023 World Pro Ski Tour World Championships.
I'm John Franklin, CEO of the World Pro Ski Tour and Ski Racing Media. So we're here on the second day of our opening weekend in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Today is the Moose Barrows Trophy. And we've had about a foot of snowfall, which is great for you powder skiers out there, but for racers, we've got to clear it off the course. We completely set a new course today, so when they're coming out of the start gate, the racers will be going to the left instead of the right, so it's reversed out. So it'll be a new challenge for the racers today, second day of racing.
A New Year's baby, American Caitlin Harsh just celebrated her 22nd birthday. In 2022, she finished third overall on the tour. A graduate of the University of Colorado, she looks to make Steamboat her first tour victory.
My name is Caitlin Harsh. I am a New Year's baby, so I just turned 22 4 days ago now. So this is a super fun way to start the new year, start the new age. My mom was a ski racer, so I think she planned that. She wanted me to have a great ski racing birthday. And yeah, I grew up skiing because of her. She kind of got me into it. She was on the US Ski Team and CU Ski Team, and got my sister and I started when we were about 5 and racing, skiing since we were 2. My mom is my biggest supporter in the whole world. She's awesome.
This is my best friend and my best fan and my best supporter. This one.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
She started racing at 5.
Yes.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
And she was kind of, I wouldn't say behind the scenes by any means, but she was never like in my face at a race. She's so positive. She just always tries to help me and keep things light, even if, I don't have a bad race, which was for sure ingrained in me. That's just my personality is just very like positive, and even if I don't have a great race, I'm happy for my teammates who had a great race or whatever it is. And yeah, I mean, she was kind of a coach. She coached at Ski Club Vail, but just not me. She coached like my sister in a different group and stuff. But yeah, she'll watch video with me, and I'll ask her some questions, and she'll give me feedback, and it's like having a stay-at-home coach kind of. It's great. I think she wanted us to do like a sport, and she grew up water skiing, playing soccer, and ski racing. She kind of had that blend. And I mean, my sister and I grew up doing everything. We did track, dance, gymnastics, skiing, soccer, lacrosse. Like, we tried everything. But I think kind of we were always knew we were gonna keep going with ski racing as like our main end game. And yeah, I mean, I definitely fell in love with ski racing, and my like skills were there. And yeah, I just had a passion the more I did it. And then yeah, making that transition to Ski Club Vail was kind of like our true commitment, because we were like, okay, we're gonna take this seriously now. My parents sort of sat me down like when we still lived in Summit County and had this conversation with me of like, we had been basically commuting from our house in Dillon to Vail for, I don't know, probably 2 years at the time, and that was getting hard on my parents. So yeah, they sat me down and were like, hey, if you want to take this to the next level and you want to keep going with this, like, it would make the most sense for us to make that club team move. And then we ended up actually moving over the pass to Vail. Then I went to the Vail Ski and Snowboard Academy from 5th grade through 12th grade, and I ended up graduating a year early because I wanted to just get my ski racing career started pretty much. And ended up getting an offer from CU Boulder to come ski for them. Richard Rokos, like legendary CU coach, been there for over 30 years. At the time he was the coach, and kind of pulled me aside, and we talked about it a little bit. And at the beginning of the year he talked to me about that, and I was like, I think you're just too young. My average age on my team is like 23, you're 17, like you need more development. And so I kind of took that as like a drive for me, and then I had just a really good season that year, and at the end of the year he took me back and was like, I really think we can make something work with this, and I would love to have you on the team if you still want to join us, because I was making other plans at that time because I didn't think I got a spot. But graduating from high school early by a year, I was 17 going into college, and most of the guys on my team at the time were 25. So I was like, this is cool. Never met them before. They're all foreign, and it definitely kind of made me like grow up pretty quick right when I got to college. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like how it's affected my skiing, I think they add so much value to me as a skier because they're so fast, and just skiing and lapping with these people who are a few seconds faster than you, you end up getting to that level even if there were no coaches, just by watching them and listening to them talk about their skiing, or they watch me and they give me feedback. So yeah, I mean, I think just because I was the youngest, they wanted to like help out the baby a little bit, and they were like, oh, let's get her going even faster. And yeah, I have my teammates to thank for that piece. Yeah, it's probably the best decision that I've ever made, and I'm just, yeah, Richie taking a chance on me because I was so little and young and needed more development, and I have definitely gained that through my college years, where a lot of people kind of take that time to actually like take some gap years or develop outside of college, but he kind of took that chance on me to try to develop me in college under his wing. He is such a wise old dude. He's just awesome. But yeah, him and Stephen Hughes were definitely like some great mentors for me the past couple of years, and now we've since switched coaches who they're also a great team for us, and yeah, definitely consider them my mentors, and my teammates for sure helped a lot. So I've been there the past almost 5 years skiing for them, and I graduated in May, and I graduated with a degree in business with finance and real estate emphasis. So I got a job doing that this summer, and then I actually retired. So this is my unretirement series right now. And yeah, I'm back at it. One more year.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Harsh, and this is your Surefoot course description.
Okay, get going right away. Very steep. All right, this jump is fast and big. All right, turning down here, turnier than yesterday, but this straightens out. Turny, last jump, flat, tough, go. Woo. That was your Surefoot course description.
Here's a look at the ladies bracket for the quarterfinals. We're going to take a look at the Norwegian who won here last year, Tuva Nordby, up against the American, Caitlin Harsh.
Well, Harsh knows that Nordby was the overall tour champion last year in the women's division, but she knows she can't let off the gas because you never know what'll come out of Tuva. But that's a huge margin to make up. Even though Tuva is gaining a little ground on Harsh, Harsh has got some powerful skiing through this track, and she will take it with a two-gate advantage and advance to the semis.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
We went up against each other like so many times. It was so fun.
Caitlin got me today, but we got to do the qualies. I think everyone we did together, you won. So well deserved that you beat me out today.
Thank you. I know. You know, I knew that you were like so fast last year, and so I was just trying to like use that as energy.
That's good.
But you got it. You got it. Yeah.
When we return to life in between gates, we sit down with Steamboat's 2022 double event winner, American Michael Ankeny. A veteran of the World Pro Ski Tour, this Minnesota native and 8-year member of the U.S. Ski Team, Michael Ankeny has been a force to be reckoned with on the tour. In 2022, he captured both the Winter Carnival Cup and the Moose Barrows Trophy at Howelson Hill. He's looking for a repeat performance in 2023.
My technical experience is what really led to winning both of the Steamboat races last year. Looking to repeat, yeah. I love the hill, I love the venue. The energy is definitely the best that we see throughout the year. And yeah, it's a ski town with a lot of ski history, and I've got a lot of great memories from growing up racing here, and look to continue to add to them this season. My name is Michael Ankeny. I'm from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I am 31, closely approaching 32 years old. Been with the Pro Ski Tour since the 2016 season, when they revamped the tour after a short hiatus from the 90s. Last year was my most successful on the ski tour, which was a little surprising to me, given that I've taken a step back from full-time skiing What's nice about the World Pro Ski Tour is that it really favors veterans, I think, because there is a lot of strategy involved with the head-to-head format. You take the seeding out of it a bit because at the end of the day, you and your competitor are going down the hill at the same time. He's not going first and I'm not going 50th. We're experiencing the same conditions, so it's on equal terms. Immediate knowledge of where you stand when you come down and you look at the timer or you see your competitor right next to you. So I think that favored me in my experience, just to have that approach to each event. I started out last year a little shaky. I had, again, not been on skis for 8 months, and the first event last year was at Granby Ranch, which is a flat hill. Now, some people might think that a flat hill is good if you haven't been skiing. However, you gotta work really hard on flat hills to go fast. On a steeper hill like Howelson, you've got gravity helping out quite a bit. So all you need to do is kind of resist the snow. But on a flatter hill, you have to really generate speed and use a lot of muscles that, frankly, I don't have anymore. So I think that last year, after winning both Steamboat races, I thought, well, heck, why not me? I've got a chance here. After the first race, I thought, I'll be competitive. I'll probably continue to lose to Rob Cohn in semifinals, but as long as I'm, third and fourth in the conversation, I'm happy with that. And then this really brought back my hunger. I started putting a little bit more work into it and thought that I could win the season-long tour.
All Michael has to do is he has a half a second advantage going into this run. The big final, everyone, Ankeny and Cohn.
And the last time these two were together, they were on the same track, and Michael lost his binding right off of that jump. But Michael has a big advantage over Cohn at this point. Down through this middle section, Cohn goes down on his side. Michael almost loses it, pulls it back together before the finish, and rides the Pony Express to victory. Michael Ankeny wins the Moose Barrow Trophy and makes it back-to-back wins here in Steamboat Springs.
What an outstanding performance by Michael Ankeny. This is the first time all season that any racer has won back-to-back races.
It is a driving force for me this season, knowing that I was 1 point away from winning the whole shebang last year. And it's hard to pinpoint where that 1 point comes from. There's points given out for the fastest qualifying run. Maybe I didn't put enough effort into a qualifying run here or there. There's thousands of seconds that you don't move on. Maybe I could have reached a little bit further, but yesterday history, tomorrow's a mystery. All you can do is learn from your experiences and then try to do better in the future. So last time I was on skis, technically it was last weekend. I was teaching my girlfriend how to ski up at Lutsen. Before that, it was at Taos at the finals for the World Pro Ski Tour last year in, that must have been early April. Going into this week, I think that the time off snow is going to be a bit of a disadvantage. It's a sport of milliseconds, and if your timing isn't on point, there's something to be missed. However, when you get to this level, everyone's good, and you just gotta have confidence in yourself. So as long as my body stays together, I'm pretty confident that I'll be moving on in the rounds. I'm at the point of just letting it fly. The qualifying round tomorrow is gonna be a great warm-up for me, and I think after 2 runs, I'll pretty much be where I need to be. I'm not sure if the first day I will be my ceiling's not as high on the first day. On the second day, my timing will be better, and I'll remember what it's like to race again. But in this event in particular, there is so much force that goes into each turn, which then is transferred up your spine. And I've broken my back and herniated discs. So it's gonna be really important for me to make sure that I'm doing some sort of recovery tomorrow after the race. I'll probably have a nice soak in the hot tub, probably have some Advil for dinner, and get up the next day and do it again and hope that I'm feeling physically good enough to be dangerous. If when I make it to the semifinals and the finals. I fully expect to see Rob on the other side of the course, silently plotting his attack down the hill. I'm going to say, Rob, thank you for playing. We'll see you next year.
Now this one shakes out on track. They go. Ankeny over the red course side gets a little bit of a jump on Duffy as they make their way down the pitch. Duffy's trying to get back and focus, back on track. Out front, Ankeny still controlling the run as he touches down with about a half a gate advantage as they cross the line. It's going to be Anke with the advantage with the max differential, 0.60. Again, 0.60. Hyper focus right now. These two guys, good friends. Former college ski team athletes from Dartmouth. Doors open up for Ankeny with that 0.6 of a second advantage as he jumps out on the steep pitch. Down the pitch goes Ankeny with that 0.6 advantage on that blue sky. Just needs to ski it clean and smooth. Duffy going to do everything he can to close the gap. Not happening right now with Ankeny touching down off the second bump. Out in front, on goes Michael Ankeny into the quarterfinals.
When we return, the rich history of racing in Steamboat Springs.
In general, ski racing is a pretty tough sport.
Racers ready?
Using my DNA vibe has allowed me to train harder, longer, and recover faster. Less days off, more time on the snow, beating my competitors. Having another option to be doing what we love and to continue to race, it just keeps the sport open and keeps you in it.
For more than half a century, Seiko has been supporting athletes in their efforts to be the best. Now, we want to bring this reliable technology to anyone striving for a goal. Because we understand, a split second can change everything. Keep going forward. Prospects.
Here is a place situated off the map of ordinary, a place that is independent, free-spirited, and intimate in scale. A place that since its first lift was installed over 60 years ago has strived to stay true to its roots while growing better rather than bigger. This vision for the future has helped make us the first ski resort in the world to earn B Corp certification. It's a symbol of where we're headed and what we stand for. We hope you will join us.
Introducing the first ever Mazda CX-50.
Funkaway, it's a millennial odor eliminator. They work for athletes and shoes and ski boots and sweatsuits and all that. They've come aboard to support the tour this year.
Hey guys, Scott from Funkaway, hanging out at Allison Hill with the World Pro Ski Tour. Gonna have unbelievable weather today, another amazing day of skiing, and we're here representing Funkaway, the extreme odor eliminator. Have a solution for all facets of life, may it be sport, work, kids, gear. Very, very simple product. 2 fragrances, one that actually smells for believability. The second one is the odor eliminating complex. Take off your pair of stinky boots, give them a little bit of spray. You're good as new.
Love the Funkaway. If you need something that's going to get rid of the stench, a new partner to the tour this year, Funkaway, a line of odor elimination products. Thanks for the support and the love.
We try to come to Allison Hill every year. We love the mountain. We love the history. We love the fact that it's located in beautiful downtown Steamboat Springs. Spectators can walk from downtown and see our race. And if you're in town, you can see the racers on the courses right from the main street of downtown.
Steamboat's always been a warm place in my heart. It's where I qualified for my first Whistler Cup International race back when I was 12 or so. And I'm lucky enough to have some family and friends who have a house here. Whenever I come here, it's like a second home. Not only is it nice to have friends and family here, you know, I got some of my best buddies down at the bottom, and my mom ventured to make the trip. But Steamboat is just such a welcoming city. So, you know, shout out to Steamboat. Thanks for having us. Happy to put my cowboy hat on for a run or two here.
Steamboat is pretty world famous for a number of things. Champagne powder snow, 17 feet so far as of this morning here. Olympians that have come out of here. These flags indicate that there are a lot of kids who grew up here in Steamboat and made it to the Olympics. 100 Olympians have come out of Steamboat so far. You'll find that this is the real West. And one of the nice things about the American West is friendly people. Moose Barrows. We were in the Olympics together in Melbourne in 1968, right? So long ago. Thanks for the reminder. Moose was one of the top downhill racers in the world. Some of you have heard of Jean-Claude Keely. Moose almost beat Jean-Claude Keely in the downhill race at the Olympics. But halfway down, Moose was taking chances, hit a bump, went about 150 feet through the air, did a 1 3/4 backflip with a 1 3/4 twist, splat right to the hospital. But he became a legend in skiing because with those aerial maneuvers, Moose Barrows invented the sport of freestyle aerials.
My name is Jim Barrows, otherwise known as Moose. Grew up here in Steamboat, grew up on Howson Hill here, where Howson put all these Olympians together, starting with Buddy Warner and Gordy Wren and Marvin Crawford, all sorts of heritage on the mountain here. And we're trying to extend it. But this is where you go head to head, see who wins, and you go through the finish line. And this is a perfect venue to do it, and so they asked me to do it, and so we have they needed a trophy for the first race. So I came up with this trophy, and they keep it. I was jumping this big ski hill here at Howson when I was 12 years old. We're celebrating the 4th running of the Moose Barrows Cup, and this is the cup which happened to be presented by Moose Barrows, which is me. This is a very special trophy in my book that came from a horse that I had that went very fast. But it wasn't very deal, so we thought we ought to put it with some good skiers, race horses. Perfect.
This race is called the Moose Barrows Cup. Moose and I were in the Olympics just a few short decades ago. Moose was one of the top downhill racers in the world, but he also won some of the World Pro Tour races. And he grew up here. He's an inspiration for so many of these kids growing up here in Steamboat that want to go to the Olympics just like Moose. And he's also a big supporter of our local ski club. He's a fundraiser, and a lot of these kids get scholarships to come through our local ski club, and then they're on their way to the Olympics. Thank you, Moose.
Coming up next, part 2 of our sit-down with American Caitlin Harsh.
COVID hit when I was a sophomore, and just the way that things canceled the season and everything, they kind of offered a COVID season if your coaches were willing to give it to you. And it honestly wasn't really on my radar, but once I graduated, I retired and got my job started, and I had really no plans of skiing this year except for doing this tour, the pro tour. And yeah, my coaches kind of called me up and talked about it with me a little bit, said it was on the table and if I wanted to take it. Yeah, mulled it over and decided in kind of mid-October to come back. If you would have asked me a year ago, I could not have pictured myself like doing much more. But I think after retiring and seeing what that life is like, because I have never not skied in my life, like in my life that I can remember. I've never not had school or skiing at the same time, and then I suddenly had neither, and I was like, this isn't as awesome as I thought it was gonna be. Like, I kind of miss skiing. So I think, yeah, once they asked me to come back and reconsider that, it kind of like ignited another fire in me, giving me this second chance to try again, and like, I might keep going. I might ride this wave as long as I can. We'll see. I'm having my probably best results I've ever had in slalom right now, which is great, and making, little improvements every day in my GS skiing. So yeah, I haven't trained anything pro tour style this year, so this will be kind of practice in the qualifier, which is going to be fun. I mean, I think it's a perfect blend between GS and slalom. I'm like, kind of brings all of my strengths that I have in slalom to the course, and also like some of my strengths from GS into it as well, because it's more of a GS body position, but it's a slalom tempo, so it's quicker, but it's kind of, yeah, you have to be in that different body position, and yeah, that's kind of a good blend. So that's what I find cool, because it kind of brings in my style of slalom skiing, like from the knees down, and then from the kind of hips up, it's like my GS skiing. When you're ranked skier, it's like you kind of have a bit of a target on your back, like, people want to be there too, and that's where the money is, and like, but I'm not at the top like with Tuva. I mean, I'm with Tuva, but I'm not where she's at right now. So I still have some climbing to do, and that keeps me motivated and like energized. And it's a similar feeling to, I never like to win my first run. I always like to be like third or fourth or second, somewhere in there, because I know I can kick it up a notch and I have someone to chase. I don't like being chased. I like to chase. Just because the level of girls that are here, they are so fast. I mean, like my teammate right now, Erin Milzinski, she's been on the World Cup for 14 years. She's won a World Cup in slalom, and I mean, she's like the best of the best, and she's here, she's racing, and we have a bunch of my college teammates and college people who I ski against that are all here, and that level is high. So the competition is good. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think I exceeded my personal expectations. I just love these races. Like it's like nothing else out there, and I thought college skiing was so much fun. Like it just kept getting better. Yeah, I mean, Pro Tour is just such a fun event, from like the energy and the announcers and the sponsors, and just everyone like wants to have fun, and there's not pressure that will affect like our other career, like our collegiate career in terms of our points or whatever, but everyone still wants to do well, and like there's pressure because there's money on the line in terms of that, and that elevates everyone's like attitude and drive to still compete and ski fast. But it's not the drive to like pursue, points for this kind of. I need to like kind of hype myself up on race day. I need some hardcore like electronic or like EDM, some rap in there. Yeah, if there's anything too chill, it like really brings my adrenaline down, which you need like high adrenaline, high energy on race day. Like on these longer days where you need to kind of like pace your energy throughout the day, it's not like a 2-run race like college skiing or fist skiing. It's, you could have 1 run with the qualifier, or you could end up doing like 8. I don't even remember how many you'll do, but yeah, you need to manage your energy levels. So you have to hype them up at the start with your music, and then once you get to the bottom, you need to chill, you need to breathe, calm down. So it kind of goes back and forth. I would absolutely love to win one of the Pro Tour races. Like one of the days, I would love to stand on the top of the podium. That would be super cool. But again, there's some high competition here. So yeah, but that's definitely a goal and it's within reach, but I'm gonna have to work pretty hard to get there. And yeah, I think this year I actually ended on like my collegiate note. I ended my season, I went to NCAAs for the first time. I hadn't made it any other year until my senior year. And I tied my best ever result in a college race there, and I became an All-American. So I ended up 8th in the slalom, and that was pretty awesome. So I would love to at least go back to NCAAs again this year and tie that again or do even better. Yeah, I want to be an All-American again.
This is the women's semifinal bracket. We've got the 23-year-old Swede who won here yesterday, Evelina Fredriksson, up against the 22-year-old from Edwards, Carolyn Jones. We also have the 22-year-old from Vail, Caitlin Harsh, up against the 4-time Olympian, Erin Milzinski. Caitlin has to make up the max differential of 0.6 of a second.
Sometimes people like the chase, sometimes they'd rather be out in front. Harsh doesn't mind the chase. She likes turning on the afterburners, trying to gain some ground on Milzinski. But Milzinski, she has been the queen of consistency today. Really smooth, really accelerating out of those turns. Harsh is really trying to get some effort there and try to juice those tails for speed. Here comes Milzinski down towards the bottom. It's going to be close, but it's Milzinski, and she will advance to the finals.
When we return to Life in Between Gates, it's part 2 of our interview with the Joker, Michael Ankeny.
In general, ski racing is a pretty tough sport.
Racers ready?
Using my DNA vibe has allowed me to train harder, longer, and recover faster. Less days off, more time on the snow, beating my competitors. Having another option to be doing what we love and to continue to race, it just keeps the sport open and keeps you in it.
Here is a place situated off the map of ordinary, a place that is independent, free-spirited, and intimate in scale. A place that since its first lift was installed over 60 years ago has strived to stay true to its roots while growing better rather than bigger. This vision for the future has helped make us the first ski resort in the world to earn B Corp certification. It's a symbol of where we're headed and what we stand for. We hope you will join us.
Introducing the first ever Mazda CX-50.
Michael Ankeny from the United States. Ooh, look at the bow and arrow. He's always the showman, Ankeny. We call him the Joker.
For me, it all started with friendship with skiing. My best friend growing up, his parents owned a local ski school that would bring you to a different hill, I will say, in Minnesota every weekend to learn skiing. And so it was a really social event for me. It brought a little diversity into what can be a monotonous experience in Minnesota skiing. Just so happened that I was pretty good at skiing. After a couple of years in ski school, we transitioned onto the local racing team and just had a knack for it. I understood how to go fast and how to read the courses, and I think I was lucky enough to have an older brother push me and a dad who liked playing as much as parenting. My brother was a ski racer for Dartmouth. My dad just recreationally, never raced growing up, but he's all things athlete, and we would, go between tennis and soccer and golf and swimming and hockey and baseball, you name it. I was a competitive swimmer growing up, all-state, state champion in soccer in high school. Loved playing pickup pond hockey with my friends. Pretty much anything that involved athleticism I tried to get my hands into. Started really skiing when I was 6 and started racing when I was probably 8 or 9. I think it was about 12 when it was at this very hill in Steamboat. I won my first regional race, which qualified me for an international race. And at that point, my coaches kind of pulled my parents aside and said, you should probably start thinking seriously about skiing for Michael. I remember I was racing on all mountain skis, Rossignol Vipers. They were awful. I could not turn, and I couldn't keep up with my friends who were on the side with race skis. My coaches told my dad, you gotta get him a pair. So he called up his buddy who was an Atomic rep. He got me a pair of 140 1022s. And the first race on those skis, I went from being middle of the pack to winning by 2 seconds. And so skiing is such an equipment-based sport. It was simply getting the proper tools for the task at hand that kind of catapulted me. I made the U.S. ski team when I was a senior in high school and chose to matriculate at Dartmouth my freshman year without taking any time off. However, from that point on, I only took 1 quarter every year. So I would go to school from April 1st to June 1st, and then I would fly directly to Mount Hood, Oregon, which then would lead me into my trip down south to New Zealand, which then would go to Chile, which then would go to Europe, and I would spend the winter in Europe doing the circuit over there. Come March, fly right back to Dartmouth.
See what happens to him in the bottom part of the course here. Knows with that mistake, he's going to have to throw it down the hill, take chances, and he's doing that right now. A little bit of trouble up there, but he grabs his downhill ski and stands on it through the hairpin. 3 or 4 gates to go through this very quick flush where you can really gas it at the bottom. Bang, bang, bang. He comes out. Good, clean. And Jangle, he's going for it at the finish here. Where is he going to end up in first place? Wow, he picks it up at the bottom.
I think it's a double-edged sword, the engineering mindset. I always struggled with, I worked on, with my coaches on the U.S. ski team, paralysis through over-analysis, where I'm trying so hard to execute the goal on hand that I forget big picture. Ski racing, there's no photographs in it. It's just fastest time. I think I lost my individuality in skiing because of overthinking, where I came from Buck Hill, Minnesota, which is pretty flat. But what that does is it allows you to, you just learn how to ski, how to generate speed. That's my comparative advantage. To someone who grows up on the East Coast, maybe at a Burke Mountain where they're skiing steeps all the time, so they really know how to maintain line and maybe are a little tactically smarter than I am. And then you look at the U.S. downhill team, and a lot of them come from the West Coast because they are free skiing on powder days and really learning how to interact with the terrain of the mountain. That's what downhill is. Versus, hard edging Eastern skiers. I'll remove Ryan Cochran-Siegel from this because he's kind of mastered it all. But hard edging East Coast skiers that more often than not find success in the technical events. When I retired from the World Cup tour, I ended up helping out and was an assistant coach for the ski team. You'll see Drew Duffy competing this weekend. Got to coach him for a year, which was really fun. It was a blast. We really kind of took each day as it came. When you're 19 traveling around Europe, getting to see beautiful mountains, ski beautiful areas, learn different cultures, a little bit of languages. It really doesn't get any better. We used to train at this ski area in Italy called Paganella, and that's when I first joined the U.S. ski team. We went there. That was really some of my first exposure to Europe, and It's right off of the Trento Valley. Beautiful Dolomite cliff sides with, you drop down a couple thousand feet and then you've got vineyards on the valley floor. And that's really when I met some of my best friends from the US Ski Team, and when we first started to not only just learn more about each other, but really push each other on the hill and get the best out of each other skiing. I think that first trip to Paganella really sticks out in my mind.
Michael Ankeny has his hands full, folks. He's going up against Steamboat local legend Brede Halsness, the son of Coachville legend Stein Halsness.
And Mark Brede has been skiing so well. He actually won a town series race on this hill. He knows the terrain, and Michael Ankeny knows how well Brede has been skiing. Michael knows he's going to have to crank up the volume down through this section to really take commanding lead over Brede, and Michael will advance to the semis.
Next up, the men's bracket for the semis. Yesterday's winner, Matthias Teffre, up against the two-time winner here last year, Michael Ankeny. We also have the three-time junior world champion from slalom, Rito Schmidiger, and Simone Breifus-Camelander, the Bolivian Olympian. Here's Heat 1 highlights between Ankeny and Teffre.
And Teffre brimming with confidence after that win in yesterday's pro race up against Ankeny, who's got some fire in his belly because he didn't even make the quarterfinals. And then Teffre hooks a tip. He's out. Ankeny will now cruise down to the bottom. He'll take the max advantage into the second heat. He likes the chase, though. It's funny. He loves to chase down the mountain, but Ankeny out in front by almost a gate and a half. Teffre trying to work the screws, trying to get some juice out of those tails, but Ankeny's still firing strong, and Ankeny's a different guy today, really skiing with power and grace. Coming down to these last final gates, it'll be Ankeny that goes into the finals.
Next up on Life in Between Gates, Caitlin Harsh looks to finish third, while Michael Ankeny returns to the finals.
Introducing the first ever Mazda CX-50.
Life in Between Gates is brought to you by Surefoot, DNA Vibe, CBS Sports, Tough Shed, Mazda, and Taos, home of the 2023 World Pro Ski Tour World Championships.
For the finals, first up we've got the big final for the ladies between Fredrickson and Milzinski, and the small final between Jones and Harsh. Can Harsh extend that focus? Let's find out now.
She is jacked up. You see the energy getting out of the start kit? She knows she has a lead, but she doesn't care. She's going to drop the hammer, take as much speed as she can off that jump, pouring on the fluid down here on the bottom, trying to get way out ahead of Jones. Coming down these last few gates before the final jump, Jones is trying to step on the gas, trying to get some more time on Harsh, but Harsh is at least a full gate ahead and will come to the finish in third place.
I think I had more fire today. I kept telling those starters that I was hungry. I just wanted it. I wanted to chase it a little harder today. So I just kind of put on the back burners, and my actual skiing was way better too than yesterday. I think I was just getting power. That was the name of the game from the first run today. I just wanted to ski well, powerfully, and create speed where I could, which was the turns.
Caitlin Harsh taking the third step of the podium. Who will take the second step and the first step? It's the finals here at Steamboat Springs.
And Milzinski with a huge advantage over Fredrickson, 0.6 of a second, but she knows she's going to have to figure out where she can push the line and play it safe on this track. It's very challenging. She needs to keep a good focus, and Fredrickson coming on strong, trying to pour on the gas in this technical section here. And here comes Milzinski down through this nice, sweet technical section, coming down to the final jump. It'll be Milzinski. She will win her first World Pro Ski Tour event.
Now for the men, we've got Ankeny, Schmidiger in the big final, Tefre Kamelander in the small final for third and fourth. Now Ankeny versus Schmidiger.
And Mark Schmidiger loves the head-to-head format. He won a World Cup parallel team event in 2016. He's out ahead of Ankeny at this point, and he's not looking back. He's just going to take chances. Ankeny getting a little wild, doing a twisty off the jump. Ankeny's giving up and having 0.6 to make up. And this is it, Mark, for all the marbles in the Moose Barrows Trophy. Will it be Schmidiger or will it be Michael Ankeny who takes away the big money? Schmidiger out in front with that huge advantage. Watch how light he is on his skis. Never pushing too hard. Nice, quick from edge to edge. Ankeny getting a little wild, little inside. Schmidiger down here on the second section. He's really smoking through these turns. Coming down through the bottom. And here it is, Schmidiger out in front. Ankeny really trying to charge, trying to make some time on Schmidiger. It'll be close, but not close enough. And Schmidiger, who wins the Moose Barrows Trophy.
Two new winners, two new faces on the tour this year, Schmidiger and Milzinski. Let's take it down to the Corbell California Champagne Awards celebration.
Today was amazing for everyone watching and all the help. Everyone's so nice here, so it's great to come here and race. Thank you.
What'd you think? Hey, it's great.
That will do it for this episode of Life in Between Gates. Next up, the second stop of the World Pro Ski Tour 2023. Located 3 hours southeast of Sacramento, in between Lake Tahoe and Yosemite, Bear Valley, California. 2 more skiers will be featured up close and personal. Their stories on and off the mountain. It all comes your way next time on Life in Between Gates.